Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
But you were saying that your nan does, some of your family.
Yes, so black magic definitely
You
is
think it's real?
For sure.
B.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
Like,
Can you move down,
of
please?
course, like it's definitely it's a thing. And listen, the sun's down, so I don't even know if we should be talking about this.
Why black magic different?
Yeah, man, why is black
'cause
magic
you can
real?
feel the energy. You can
Because
feel-
listen, if it's not just us here. Do you know what I mean? We are more than this skin and this vessel that you are in. You are a entire being, and with that comes a whole load of other
A lot of
beings
power.
Yeah.
and a whole load of other things, and you can work with that if you will, and if there are ways and there are books that go way back in all types of history that show
Across
you
all
how
cultures, yeah.
that show you
Yeah.
how, and
Yeah.
across all cultures they're the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can name a couple right now and everyone in this room will be like, I've heard about that one still. Like,
Yeah. Like when it comes to a lot of things, there's
What does she actually do? She's cast spells?
so it's not casting spells. Let's say if we bring protection into it, so you have the whole saging.
Yep,
We
I
know
was just about
about
to say
that
because I
one.
do that myself.
Saging, I
Yeah.
do that ones too.
Yep.
You do the saging.
Sorry, hang on a minute. Sorry.
So you partake in black magic.
Yeah, because it could be something. Hang on a second.
my
Hang on.
energy,
Hold on.
There are some
Let me
bad
stop everyone, let me
energies
stop
out
everyone.
here.
Let me stop. Yeah.
Wait,
Try
no.
to attack
We're
you
so
on that.
intrigued that she's
Yeah.
talking about black magic right now. We're so intrigued, yeah. We want to know more. If I was sitting here saying the same thing, yeah, and I was sitting here telling everyone about the evil shit I do, you lot will be looking at me mad.
No, do you know what?
Okay,
No,
wait, let's talk about it though. Let's talk about it. I want to
let
talk
me
about
stop
it.
Magic
Let
story.
me stop you, yeah. Let me just pump the brakes right quick. Yeah.
joking me right
Hold on.
now. Oh my
Do you know
God.
what? When we look at people,
If I was sitting here
Hold
saying
on,
some evil
sorry.
shit to you, Jimmy,
When
you
we
would
look at
at me
people-
No, she
different.
might.
no, I wouldn't because I saged my fucking self.
Alright.
Listen.
No, on the real. No.
Hear the point.
That's
No, hold on.
That's real talk.
back.
That's
When
real
we look
talk.
at-
That's real talk. Yeah, that's real
Give
talk.
me
That's
a
real
minute,
talk.
give me a minute.
That's real talk. I'm gonna
When
meet
we
Jim.
look
Yeah,
at-
I'm gonna meet
Sorry,
Jim.
let me just
Come
make
on
this point
in,
real
come on
quick.
in.
When it comes to people, like for
Yeah, it's real
example, we
talk.
see like
That's real talk, man.
Latin people, right? And they're Catholic, and they've got they've got the Santa Maria. They've got the Santa Maria, and they burn the candle,
Yeah.
right? Or we talk about white people, and they're Catholic, and they burn charcoal, especially when they've come out of mass. And we talk about things like that.
Which one is
Frankincense?
deemed?
Sorry,
which
sorry,
one is
sorry.
deemed as most
Charcoal.
evil?
No,
Which one
sorry,
is deemed
sorry.
as most
Charcoal,
evil?
charcoal,
Which,
something.
in terms of black magic, which one is deemed as most evil?
Yeah.
Which one is
These
deemed as
things
most
are the
evil?
same.
Yeah, hang on.
These things are one and the
Yeah,
same.
no, they ain't.
Because
No,
all
they
they're
ain't.
doing is burning protection.
No, they ain't.
How are they
No, they
not?
ain't.
How are they not?
Alright, allow me to explain.
All
Allow
right,
me to
go
explain.
ahead, because I want to tell. I want to see how you're saying that.
So
I want him to speak.
yeah, so first and foremost, obviously, I'm coming from an Islamic perspective.
Sure.
So first and foremost, magic was first taught to angels, Haruts and Maruts, and they were taught magic in Babylon. This is the first instance that we have of it.
Okay.
Now, at that time, the people at that time, they only learnt from them harm to separate man and wife.
Right.
And other forms of harm. That's what they learnt from these two angels. Now, it was a test for them, and nothing was taught to the people except that they were warned, this is a test for you, don't do that. Understand? But they ignored
Right.
the warning.
Yeah, sure.
Understand?
Yeah.
That
To
black
cause harm between people.
Relationships.
separation
Relationships.
between man and wife.
Okay.
Because the highest reward for that, if a demon does that, is that he gets to sit on the main demon's throne. So that's why that's such an aspiration
weird. I've heard
for
this
them
in,
to.
like,
That's
kids'
why
stories.
Hang on a
divorce
minute.
is so disliked.
That's why it's
Yeah.
such a
But then why is it so
aspiration
easy
for them
to
to
do
do
though?
that. So listen, yeah.
If
hang
it's
on a
so
minute.
disliked, why is it so easy to do? Why can't I just get up and say?
No, but it's not easy, But
Hang on a
I
second,
said
hang
the
on a
word
second,
three
yeah.
times. I said the word
Nah,
3
there's-
times, and you're not my man anymore.
no,
No,
there's a system to it now, but people are obviously manipulating some things and maybe doing it quicker. But there's meant to be like stages, and it's like no going back, like 3 months, 3 months, 3 months.
Swear down.
Sorry, Clint, go ahead.
So what happens is, that these two angels were taught that, they were taught that in Babylon. That's what we know. Now, talak, what we're talking about is just divorce. And that's that in its simplest explanation, talak means divorce, but that is an a way it's dealt with. There's a way talak is dealt with.
Yeah.
And only the people that have that knowledge can deal with that.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
With some denominations in Islam, you can say talak 3 times, that's it.
Yeah.
And in some denominations, you say talak, then you got to wait a period, then you're going to say it again, then you got to wait another period, then you got to say it again. And there's rules within that as well. That's complete. This is what's getting mixed up. That's what I'm saying. So I've got to make it clear what's what. That's religion.
Right.
Yeah. Magic isn't religion, but within the religion, we're taught about magic and how to protect yourself.
Right?
I'm gonna challenge you, right?
Yeah.
I've got some people from Africa that say, the Western people are chatting shit. Voodoo's a good thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me explain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
voodoo
I'll
can
explain
protect
now.
you.
Go
please.
ahead. Go ahead.
So what is this? Yeah, that magic is the same all over the world,
Yeah.
except that it's got different names, but the process is the same. Now, maybe in some cultures they've refined it a certain way. In Africa, they might have refined it their way. In the West, they would have refined it their way. It's all the same thing. For example, you have some people, they call them see the sage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're burning a type of incense,
Yeah,
right?
plant.
Because the shayateen, the demons, they don't like it. So it's not magic at all. It's just because they don't like nice scents.
But isn't that magic because you're
moment.
believing in something
No.
magical?
It's not magical. It's not. It's not magic. You're calling it something that it isn't. It's like me saying this is water. It's not. It's brandy.
I
But
get-
you're calling
okay.
water.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
You get it? Yeah. So that the burning of sage, the burning of incense at home, because
that's not black
because
magic?
no, it's not.
No.
Because the spirits don't. Because spirits should even call them that. Because the jinn don't. The evil jinn don't like it. They'll stay away from it because they like disgusting things and bad smells. That's it. So certain things you burn at home would attract them.
Yeah.
Same as if you play too much music, it's going to attract them. If you keep the home unclean, untidy, it's going to attract them. There's certain things you could do that are going to reflect them away. If you recite the Quran at home, it's going to keep them away from you. Right. That's. I tried to cover that. What you're saying is unfortunate.
Think about the
saying-
terminology. Cleanliness is next to
Cleanliness,
godliness.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
where it comes from.
Keeping your house clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping house.
That's from a spiritual.
Always
point
reciting
of view.
God's name
That's from a
is gonna-
spiritual point of view, though, because other people that don't adhere to the same things
They
and
don't care,
and
or they
are
might write it
spiritual,
off.
they're
But
like whatever.
yeah, but they're not here, so
But hopefully they
Yeah.
still keep their house clean, innit? So
Hey, well,
So,
you know, shout out
even
Detto.
your home could be clean. You're still practicing black magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only
Facts.
saying that.
So is it only black magic when it's in a negative, bad way?
No.
There's no
Yeah,
such.
yeah.
There's
Why is
there's
the
no
word-
such.
question.
There's no such thing. Touching on what
Why
you were
is that
saying.
even called black magic?
There's
Hold
no
on.
Yeah,
such.
yeah.
Hold
Where
on,
did
hold on.
that
We're
come
asking
from?
loads of questions. Give me a minute.
There's no such thing as good magic. Doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know,
Okay.
in Disney,
So when I-
in Disney, magic is glamorized.
Can
no?
I say it about the
No,
Asian
quickly.
perspective?
Yeah, because
So
it's,
can I
yeah.
say-
in
it's a
Disney-
trick.
in
It's a trick.
Disney-
All
That's
right,
why.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Magic
Go ahead.
Magic is
Go ahead.
glamorized.
Nah, I think
In
there is good
Disney-
magic though.
In
I'll
Disney
explain
and
why.
childhood
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
magic is glamorized. It's like, ooh, magic. When
Okay.
you say black magic,
Why is it called
Okay.
that?
it's not seen
Can
in the
I?
same light.
So can I say, like, from an Asian and Islamic point of view, like Karen from what he said, basically, so why we say there is no good magic is because we believe that if you believe in one God, you have to have ultimate faith in him. You can't wear a chain with his name on it and say, this will protect me, because ultimately it's God that protects you. So you putting something in place of him makes it like your ideology, like your...
Idolatry,
your-
yeah.
like you're believing in something
Idolatry,
else other
sorry.
than God. And
Is it
that
even
is...
if it's a reminder of
Even
it?
if it's no, it's how you worship it. So if you touch it like it's a little ritual,
okay.
it becomes like you're praising that above
So
God.
how does that
Over
explain?
God.
I'm
No,
ignorant
yeah, so
here.
I'll
How does
go
that
here.
explain the tasbih?
So the tasbih,
Tasbih is remembrance.
no, but some obviously scholars say it's not allowed at all because again,
But some
it's-
people pray with it and
yeah.
they.
Oh no,
You know
no,
the
sorry,
people
the
that
tasbih,
hold
the
it-
rosemary. Oh, sorry, I
Right.
thought you were saying the tabiz, which is something else.
Oh, no,
So
Okay.
the rosemary,
tabiz
that's
is-
just a reminder of where you are. Like it's
Okay,
just, it's
fair enough.
nothing.
No,
I just
but
wanted
if
that
you
clarified. I just wanted that clarified.
This is the
worshipping
counting.
it-
I don't want to
This is
focus
the
on it. I
counting,
just wanted to
yeah.
clarify.
Yeah, but if you
Decorating
start
with it.
worshipping it, like you're doing a little ritual, kissing
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
believing that's
and
that
wearing it around
becomes
your
it.
neck. That's why you
So
can't wear a
that's
tasbih around
why.
your neck.
So that's why
right?
the Christians who have the Saint Christopher
Yeah.
when they go
The
fly, for
rosemary.
example.
Yeah, yeah.
And they kiss
They
it before.
kiss
And
it.
that's wrong.
You
Yeah,
can't
that's
do
wrong.
that.
And
And
you
you
know, like
can't
the
wear-
images of Mary and Jesus,
Okay.
that becomes idolizing, and that's what we don't believe in.
Okay.
So where, like, just say
I've-
religion or
yeah.
like, so in some people in Asian culture, they'll say that there's good jinns and bad jinns. So the bad jinns only make you do crazy stuff, and the good jinns protect you.
Isn't this in
But
Islam though?
No, so in Islam, there is no, you can't mix with the other side. It becomes ultimate, even if it's for good reasons, you can't mix because you're putting your faith away from God into something else. So there is no such thing as like, you know, how you might have like the nazar, the evil eye, like you pray, you can pray to God and say, God, please protect me from the evil eye. But you can't touch this little thing and say, oh, touch wood, this is going to protect me. Or that
what about
becomes
crystals then? Is that?
So anything that you idolize becomes wrong, basically, because you're taking away from God himself. But when I speak about like other spiritualities, like just say the Native Americans with the Amazonians, like whatever. So why, like, referring to all magic is the same is because everyone's diving into that realm in their own ways. So the Latins might do it in their way, like ayahuasca and stuff like that. Christians might do it in their way. You know, CBD oils and all of that. But regardless, whatever, because in my opinion, God is one and everywhere. Whether you're doing it in different ways or different faiths and different names, you're going into another realm, and that's when it becomes bad magic because you're taken away from God.
But do you think, I believe that you're taught that that goes back to the point that was being made about it's actually good. So I believe that you're told don't delve into that side. And I'm not going against Islam here. Yeah. Let me just put that first, before people come
Imam's gonna come for you.
Yeah, I can't. Listen, not going against Islam here, but you know, just a personal opinion of it is you're taught don't go there, it's bad for you. When in actuality, I believe you're coming in line with your soul. You're coming in line with what you're being.
Sorry, just one moment. We focus so much on the Islamic side, but we haven't focused on the people who are literally outside of it all, like myself. So, for example, when you're looking at all forms of black magic, you could say, which is one and the same, voodoo, obia, babalawo, jadoo, hoodoo, and so much more. You look at these things, right? And you automatically think, nah, man, this is bad. What is it? And whatever. But touching on your point where you said some people think it's good, or some people say it's good, it's because they practice it in the terms for positivity to come
Impossible.
Hold on. There are people that do the things like burning sage and that do the things like
because that's not magic. Listen, hang on.
Manifestation with crystals, manifestation with and all these things. You're saying
which is what?
That it's impossible, but you're saying it's impossible.
I'm asking you if you're saying what's manifestation with crystals? What's that?
All right. Again, I'm not someone who has crystals. I'm not. You got
manifestation.
Crystals?
Yeah. So manifestation with crystals. I'm not saying I believe in it, but what manifestation with crystals
Disclaimer
is.
alert.
Disclaimer again. Exactly. You've got to do that.
Imam's moving mad right now. Imam is watching this like, watch me and you.
Let's go. Go on.
So what you would do is, as a crystal, as a salt. So let's go science right now, real quick. It has a vibrational field. As human beings, we do
all crystals vibrate.
Everything. As a human, you have a vibrational field too, and so does the earth. You learn about it.
Yeah.
So the crystal itself vibrates at a certain frequency, which can work within your frequency to attract. For if you vibrate at a certain frequency, you attract things at that
Attracts
level.
what?
So, for example, happiness and sadness will have a frequency. It has an electrical frequency, and people can measure these, and they have been measured.
So what you're saying, the crystals will attract that?
No. That's on a... Yeah, well, they can help your own vibration, if that makes sense. They help you vibrate.
To what? To make you happy?
Can I... Sorry.
Exactly. It's completely far-fetched. Look, so far as I'm concerned, it's for me, all that crystal stuff, for me, if you don't have your base of any truth, not to say stand for nothing, fall for anything.
Oh, stand for nothing, fall for anything.
But
I
tumbleweed right there.
It's late, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
I got work in the morning.
I'm saying to this, if you don't have your base of what you believe to be right and wrong, then you're going to be pulled in all sorts of directions. With that being said, sage, as I said to you...
Wait, so you're saying sadness is because you don't know your base?
No.
Of right... Wait, what?
I'll explain. You see, internal peace,
Yeah.
We believe that in the remembrance of Allah, do the hearts find rest, which is peace, in a sense. Understand, yeah? So when you perform in dhikr, when dhikr is the remembrance of God, when you partake in that, some things start to change within you internally and externally.
Your vibration changes.
Possibly,
Right.
but there ain't no crystals involved. I'm not going to
Of
go
course
to a
not, of
crystal.
course not.
Yeah, yeah,
course
yeah.
not.
For you,
Of course
yes,
not,
you're right.
but
Exactly,
however,
because
But
yeah,
for someone who is
Being
completely
surrounded-
outside of Islam,
Yeah.
completely outside of
if
Christianity,
they wanted, this is it.
that's,
So look,
that is where they
Yeah,
find that
yeah.
solace, and that is
Yeah,
the fact.
they
Yeah.
find
Can I
the-
speak
So
about
you're
my
saying,
experience?
sorry, one moment.
yeah,
one moment.
maybe, but
What
some.
God talks to dead people and all that. Is that all voodoo and all that?
Sorry?
Talks to dead people.
When people die and
No,
then
some
God-
people-
You're talking
some
about
people don't-
seances.
Yeah, all that stuff.
That
So, I know the answer, but if you want to give your opinions,
No,
fine.
yeah,
I can answer you right
I'm
now.
just gonna give my opinion. You said that white people don't. I might be wrong, so please correct me if I'm wrong. You said white people don't practice black magic, or we don't see that, right?
different
but we look
forms,
at
they
things
do, yeah,
like
they do.
things like seances
do.
that white people practice heavily.
What about
Ouija
witches?
boards, Ouija boards.
Ouija boards as well.
Witches,
Seances,
yeah, the
yep,
witches,
witchcraft.
Witchcraft, like you can go.
When
Your
you look at
zodiac
witch-
signs.
When you,
Culture.
when
You
you
see-
when you look at witch trials and all that other stuff, in Salem, these
Yep,
things
Salem.
did happen, right?
Star
you saying
signs,
about
star signs are one part of black magic.
Love it.
They are, yeah. So
Big
if
Aries.
you if you are an air sign, if you are an air sign, they'll tie your black magic to a bird. It'll fly around. If you are a water sign, they'll
Water
put your
sign.
black magic in water. If you are an earth sign, they'll bury your black magic.
So what's the consequence of magic then?
It
It's wrong.
it
Everything comes
I
back
just
to
feel
you.
like I'm sorry.
Everything
I'm
you
just
put
gonna say,
out
I'm gonna
into
put
the
this out
world
there
comes
quickly.
back to you.
It's
innit?
only seen as evil when it's black people that's doing this magic.
I
I don't care. No, I don't care. Listen,
Bollocks.
What's the backlash of what is it? So if you go and do magic, yeah. So
Everything, yeah, magic
okay, so
is-
what if you
magic
do it for
comes
the good?
back.
And what if you do it for the good?
No.
What if you do it for
Then
the
hopefully
They
you
sound
bring
like they're doing
manifest
it for
good
the
to
good.
that.
Yeah,
A
so
lot
can
of
I speak about my experience with black
Yeah.
magic? So
Yeah, go ahead.
I think obviously with culture and religion says you're not meant to do it. Anyway, culture, like Bengali culture, we heavily do it. Like, you know, you do some jadoo. If your husband's not liking you, the wives can do
Yeah.
some voodoo on him to bring him back
When you're
to that.
cooking for
Yeah.
him, innit?
So
That's
like,
like-
there's different prayers and chants. And obviously,
you watch Nollywood now, it's
Islamically-
mad.
Islamically, it's not allowed, but culturally, it's accepted because you know they want to believe in it because it's a part of their practice. Because we come from Hinduism and stuff like that. Anyway, so my experience, I was in Bangladesh. I had an iPhone. I think it was iPhone 3 at the time. Anyway, it was a big deal back then.
Come on.
I had painters in the house, and while we went to eat, they stole my phone. So my niece, she goes to me, well, we can go to this guy and he can do some voodoo and they can bring the phone back. So I was like, okay. I was
Let's
only
go.
like, yeah, I was only like 13, 14 at the time. Or yeah. Anyway, I was like, yeah, cool, why not? So she explained what happened and she went to him.
He wrote
And
something on
nah,
paper or
bruv,
something.
he got 3 frogs, yeah? 3 frogs. And he wrote whatever he wanted. He
crazy.
stuck it in the frog's throat, and he buried one, burnt one, and drowned.
Is this how bad
Yeah.
you wanted your
Alright, listen,
iPhone
pet
3, bro?
Any pet activists will be watching.
Because
You know, I'm so
Islamically,
intrigued, right?
Islamically, it's not allowed, but culturally,
I could tell
that's
this
him trying to
story.
do good, like
Those
trying to bring
poor
my phone back.
frogs.
No, but listen to this, yeah. So I said, what is this for? He said the burning will cause the person who stole the phone to burn, like his skin will feel like he's burning. The one that's drowned will underwater will make the guy feel like he's suffocating and he's drowning, and the one that is buried will suffocate him like he's
You like
buried
intrigued?
alive. Believe it or not, my phone was switched off for a good 3 hours. Believe it or not. After he buried it, I called it. The phone picked up. The guy picked up. We were like, "Can you bring the phone back?" And then the line cut off. So
Did he
it did.
die?
No.
What do you
Well, I don't know, but
Did-
believe it or not.
Did you get your phone back?
Nah,
Yeah. Did you
we
get your phone
we
back?
didn't get the phone back, but we got
Sorry?
we got.
Did you get your
something
phone
that
back?
happened- No,
No.
we didn't get the phone back, but something happened where the guy, because the phone was switched off, like he answered, and obviously it might have been a big coincidence, but Bengali people, like he would explain it as, oh, it worked though, like he's feeling something, that's why he picked it up. But obviously religiously it's not allowed, but culturally it's heavily practiced.
I want to ask you a question really quickly. Don't you feel like that person may have enabled a lot of things into your life that you generally don't know about?
Yeah,
especially
that's
as a
why we
person
don't,
who
that's why
practices.
we're not
The
meant
rule
to
of
mix.
everything
Yeah,
comes back.
Yeah, but
because
that's-
I mean,
Yeah, of
fine,
course.
fine if you're saying that this is
Yeah,
what the person
yeah,
thought
yeah,
that would make
yeah.
your phone come back.
Yeah.
But that person may have done a whole ritual
Yeah.
to bring certain things
stuff,
into
yeah,
your life.
Of course, this
certain.
is why we say you shouldn't mix with the other side, because if you do something, they're not allowed to mix with us as well. We believe as Muslims, the jinns aren't allowed to come interfere with us, and we're not allowed to interfere with them.
But I swear
And
they
once,
do in-
and that's why there's bad, like the bad jinn. Why we say there's no good jinn is because the bad jinn isn't meant to come with us. So even if we entice it,
Would you
even
say
if-
there's no good gym? You said there's no good gin.
No, no. So there is no good jinn that will interfere with us because they're going against what they've promised God. So when
of not interfering
yeah,
with
so
the
so
human
for
realm.
example, in Bengali culture, people might say this person's possessed and they might be praying, so they'll be like, oh, but that's a good jinn because it's making them pray, but they don't realize that no, because a good jinn won't break its promise, because then he'll get punished by God. Does that make sense? So when we say there's no good jinn, is because we say you're not meant to mix, and the minute you go into that could unleash things. For example, in our culture, they believe if someone does a zadu on you, like you as a person, it can come down generations, because the jinns might be so obsessed, starting with you, it will come down to your kids and kids' kids, if that makes sense. But that's a cultural
So then how
belief.
do you vanish that? That's you use magic, no?
Yeah, so that's
No,
why we
you
say
don't. No,
you shouldn't
that's a
delve
problem.
into that.
Yeah, the problem is by using magic to get rid of other magics. That's
It's still wrong. Yeah.
it's a bigger problem.
Yeah.
Because rather than you use,
So what do you do?
you're supposed to use the Quran and Sunnah of the
Yeah.
Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.
And
That's
just
what you're
keep
supposed to
reciting
do.
God.
So what happens is if
What if
you
that doesn't work?
can I answer one question before I ask another one here?
Yeah, you're asking a million questions. Oh, fuck it all.
So cool. Yeah. So you shouldn't use magic to get rid of magic, because inside you, or you're now dealing with two different types of magic. This is a bigger problem. Understand? Basically, it's supposed to refer to God's words. Understand? And there are foods you can eat. There are foods you can eat, stuff you can drink, prayers you can recite that will protect you from the demons, protects you from the magic, and eventually over time get rid of the magic. But there is no good magic anywhere. It does not exist. No matter what you're tricked into believing, no matter how they glamorize it, good magic does not exist.
From a non-religious point of view, and I want to wrap this up. I feel like I have seen black magic practiced, and I've seen things where people usually get whatever they want, but then they befall some kind of unfortunate circumstance eventually. Maybe because it's not being practiced properly.
Karma.
Maybe it's because karma,
karma.
definitely. Maybe because.
Quickly, one thing
Go ahead.
before we wrap up. You know, you said that heaven something falls at your mother's feet. That believe, what's the saying?
Heaven lies at your mother's feet.
Heaven lies at your mother's feet. What if your mom does black magic?
You have to
You
try
believe
God.
it.
That would that not
You
go
have
back?
believe
Would that
it,
not
you
go back?
think it's normal.
Would that not go back? Would that not go back to the generational
You'll think
thing?
it's normal.
Would that not go back to the generational thing where
You will think it's normal.
To me, you've got to have a relationship with your mum and stuff like that. And say,
If
You
she
have to keep guiding her.
now what she's doing, now what that woman's doing, she's going against God. So you would have to keep your distance to protect yourself
From your mother?
But try. She's going against God in a massive way. So the best you can do is try and guide her from a distance. You don't. If
you
you know
know
she's
better?
practicing
So
that.
at what point do you?
If you know she's
think to
practicing
yourself
black
that you're
magic,
gonna
don't
now
eat from her.
know
Don't drink
your
from her.
mum- From your,
One
this
moment.
Is your mother, by the way.
One moment. And she's doing black magic. I'm saying to you, ultimately, you have to preserve your afterlife. If black magic will harm you in this life, keep your distance. If you can love her from a distance, love her from a distance. Try and guide her as much as you can, but don't go there because you know it's going to harm you.
But you know how your mother raises you.
Yeah, I don't think
Can't
When
do
your
that when it's
mother
young.
raises you and you
So-
see
so-
what
so
she's
what?
doing,
L-
you
love-
don't see
love
what
is
she's
not-
doing as wrong because
love
she's your
is
mother
not
and it's
greater
what
than
you've
morality.
always been taught.
Love is
You
not
have to
greater
find
than
that by yourself.
morality.
Until you
I'm
find
saying
that by
to you,
yourself,
yeah, I'm
you
saying to
won't-
you
you won't know
factually,
that.
love is not greater than morality. If you have so much love, your morals go out the window, you're a problem.
Can I interject real quick? I'm going to interject real quick, but it's interjecting with saying that we got to wrap up. Sorry, but people, listen, let us know your thoughts. Do you think that black magic is a bad thing or a good thing? Please let us know your thoughts. We've got commonsense_TV on the Instagram. We've also got the YouTube comments. Share your thoughts. Let us know what you think. Myself, Jimmy. We've got Clint. The ladies here, Soraya and Miriam. And of course, Lara. We've been us. You've been you. Peace.